Okay, so I want to get into this article about Terrence Howard. Empire star Terrence Howard hit with nearly 1 million judgment after saying it's immoral to tax descendants of slaves. The 54-year-old actor, whose last known address is in Plymouth Meeting, failed to respond to a lawsuit filed in Philadelphia seeking to recoup hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes he owed. By the way, Philadelphia is my hometown. A federal judge in Philadelphia has ordered Academy Award nominated actor Terrence Howard to pay nearly 1 million in back taxes, interest, and penalties after he allegedly threatened a Justice Department lawyer and maintained that it was immoral for the United States government to charge taxes to the descendants of slaves. I'm not sure where the threat comes in. I didn't see there was a threat. For more than a year, the 54-year-old star of the TV hit Empire, whose last listed address was in Plymouth Meeting, rebuffed IRS efforts to collect 578,000 in income tax it says he failed to pay between 2010 and 2019. And despite a months long effort to engage Howard in court after the Justice Department sued him in 2022, the actor's only response was a voicemail he allegedly left on the phone of the case lead tax attorney in November. According to a transcript of that message, including in court filings, Howard denied owing anything and threatened to shame her by posting the lawsuit against him on the internet. That's not a threat. That's not a threat. I'm not sure why they're calling that a threat. 400 years of forced labor and never receiving any compensation for it, the actor said in the message. Now you have the goal to try and prosecute and charge taxes to the descendants of a broken people that you are responsible for causing the breakage. By the way, I actually used that argument when they tried to come after me for defaulting on my student loans. I used the whole reparations thing and whatever. They that was before COVID and they put a temporary freeze on student loans. But yeah, I wanted to see what their response was going to be, but we never really got to that point. The recording cut Howard off mid sentence, but he called the attorney back to continue. In truth, the entire United States should by default become the property of the descendants of slaves, he said. But since you do not have the ability or the courage to do that, let's try this in court. We're going to bring you down. Still not really seeing a threat. That's really just saying that we're going to maintain a defense. Despite that vow, Howard never formally responded to the lawsuit, and after a court hearing last week in Philadelphia, U.S. District Court John F. Murphy granted the government's request to enter 903,115 default judgment against the actor, a ruling that was first reported by the legal service Law 360. Okay, I'm not even going to get through the rest of it. But what I want to say is, I've been saying that the reparations that we should get should be sovereignty, and a lot of people have been giving me pushback for it, and they don't realize the value of sovereignty. If we had sovereignty, we would not be paying taxes, and people like Terrence Howard would not be in this situation. Um, you think that you're going to get more money back in reparations, but you're not because the state is still the sovereign. So whatever money you get would still end up going back to the sovereign. You would still owe taxes to the sovereign, and you would be paying taxes in perpetuity that your children and your great grandchildren and um for an infinite amount of time they're going to be paying the sovereign because you don't have sovereignty. So there are literally billions, if not trillions of dollars that could be kept within the black community that we could use to rebuild our own um Black Wall Street or whatever. We don't need a handout. What we're giving a handout to the government. We should not be paying taxes. We should have sovereignty, and that money can be used to rebuild our own community. So people are saying that I'm letting the government off. No, that's not what I'm actually saying. You would actually get more money by keeping your money as opposed to getting a so-called handout from the government and still paying taxes to it. Um, and that would be taxable income, by the way. So you would be paying the government anyway. That money is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anything to repair the Black community. So I would say that you should be fighting for sovereignty as opposed to a cash payout. And people like Terrence Howard would be able to keep their money and they would be able to invest it back into the Black community.